Yeah.
Last week's results obviously kicked off with a impressive win for Chelsea. George isn't here to boast about his beloved Palmer, so we can easily move on to the slot machines being turned back on again. An impressive win there. So great work. Man United, 0-0 against Palace.
It was a good performance, though.
That's
You
the
know,
best you played this season, though, isn't it?
it's the best we played this season, and we looked in control. You know, I've been moaning. I want to look in control of the game. It'd be nice if we won it as well, but it's a good blueprint of we were attacking, we were moving. There was good movement. We are doing everything right except score. So where we have been, I'll take it, but it depends on the next game. With United, they need to get a run of these performances. They will score, but we need to get a run of these performances. So in short, yeah, disappointed with the result, but not the performance.
Yeah, and the most important game of all, Man City Arsenal, 2-2.
But
You probably would have.
before
You
we jump
probably
on
would
to the
have.
big one, before we jump on the big one, you know, everybody was writing off Villa at the start of the season. They beat one of the toughest teams, Super Wolves, right? I just want to say, you know, Wolves held out for a long time. And Villa, I know it's only the start. They're not going to go away easily. I just want to drop that. Like, you can go into Man City, but, you know, I think everybody needs to keep an eye out for Villa. Emery is a master at this. So
Well,
I
they
think
think
are.
everyone
now,
thought it would be like the Newcastle effect. Like Newcastle got into the Champions League and their league form suffered big time.
yeah.
They dropped right down, and I think everyone kind of thought that Villa would probably have suffer the same fate.
I think Emery's different than
So far.
Eddie.
Yeah,
Wow,
he's a top manager, and he's
yeah,
he seems like a really nice bloke as well.
yeah. So yeah, I think I just wanted to drop that. I think they'll be pretty decent. So yeah. Anyway, the big one.
Big one. Man City Arsenal. You probably would have taken a point before the game.
Yeah, do you know what? I
Uh,
would have taken a point before the game, and I would have taken a point like if it had been 2-1 down to 10, and they'd scored in say the 60th or 70th minute, and then we
yeah.
held out. I would have gone, yeah, blinding. What a good result. What a good point that is. I do still think that from City's point of view, it's 2 points dropped because they're at home.
Yeah.
We're down to 10 men. They scored early on. When Haaland scored after 9 minutes, it was one of the only times this season, well, the only time this season, Gabriel and Saliba didn't get the distances right. They were too big of a gap. Haaland went through, nice little finish, like poked it past Raya, and I thought, okay. I just thought it was, okay, we're back to that, are we? Getting rolled over 4-5-0. Um, I shouldn't have thought that because we're way better now than those days, and we're way more solid, way better defensively, and we showed that in the second half. I mean, we were on the ascendancy. I mean, Calafiori scored that ridiculous goal, put it top bins,
Yeah.
out, curling in and
It was a
out.
peach. It was a peach.
Oh,
His foot moved
full
like
day.
Pires. It reminded me of Pires, the way he's sort of ducky
Because
feet.
he had to open his body up, but also
Yeah,
move around.
yeah. It just
Michael Rose obviously trying to get in the way,
reminded me a bit of
and then
Pires.
Gabriel scored the header, but he had a corner just before that, and Saka put it on the sixpence again. Could have scored then, but I think we were on the ascendancy, and they were rattled. And obviously, we've talked about the red card before. We've gone down to 10 men, and obviously, when it's half time, we've got 45 minutes plus to play at City with 10 men. I thought, will this be a mauling? And it was the most stress-inducing, horrid, rank, fucking putrid half of football I've ever watched. I felt sick. I had a
It,
fucking my neck was aching. I had a fucking stress headache. Brutal, but we defended so well.
We did. It,
Um,
it was a, it was a it
when,
was a masterclass of defending.
yeah, we're so good at that. We
Even
did it against
better
Spurs.
if you if
Spurs
if you
never.
didn't
That
concede.
Spurs, we could have played the Spurs game for 3 more hours and they wouldn't have scored. But it did feel inevitable that City would get something. But I have to say, when we got to 90 minutes, 92 minutes, 93 minutes, I started thinking
that's it.
this is going to be the best result
Yeah.
of the last decade. And last kick of the game, again, over the allotted time, even though the ball was in play for more time in that half than any other game this season. So I don't know where they get 9 minutes from. Um, and then, yeah, a scrappy goal. John Stones has said, punt it. But yeah, the manner in which it happened initially, I felt just physically sick. I was gutted, and it felt like a loss. But now dust has settled, got a bit of distance, and that's a good result. That's a big result. And if you'd offered me, Villa away, Spurs, we had a rank start to the season. Villa away, Spurs away, City away, with a Champions League away day in between.
And Brighton at home, right?
And Brighton at home. But Villa away, we lost last season. Spurs away is big rivalry. I mean, we do tend to turn up and roll them over these days, but still tough game. And City away, all in a week. Spurs, Atalanta, City in 1 week, 3 away days. Villa 3 points, Spurs 3 points, City a point. 7 points from those 3 away days is a
every team would take it. Every team would take it.
Oh, unbelievable! Really good return, and the manner in which we did it. And I think if we had conceded a last minute goal and to lose the game, I think everyone wouldn't be so rattled by Arsenal, because it seems like we're getting called cheats and we're getting, everyone's talking about the dark arts. It just shows to me that we are back, because
yeah.
No one
That's
talks
a
like
compliment.
this about any other team.
I'm gonna say now, those two red cards, right? On the Brighton game, which you drew, you were winning, drew after the red card. Man City winning, red card, drew. Are those drop points that could cost you?
Of course, I mean, you do almost have to be perfect again, when you're up against City. And look, only time will tell. But I mean, on that point, it could be a blessing in disguise, because we didn't lose either game, and if we've learned our lesson now, and by law of averages, we should now see lots of sending offs for second yellows. So if our players can't be that thick to don't give them an excuse to do it. So we shouldn't do that again this season, right? So that's that. We've had our medicine now under the new rules. Other teams should now suffer. And the point of delaying the restart, I listened to Arscast, and they made a really good point. I think it was James. He said this whole directive of trying to stop time wasting and delaying the restarts over the course of a season, that's going to benefit Arsenal probably more than most, because we suffer from that. I remember a couple of seasons ago, Newcastle came to our place and played for a 0-0 draw, and the ball was in play for something like 40 minutes. They were going down, they were kicking it out, they were delaying it, and it was frustrating. And most games we play, we're going to have more of the ball, we're going to be on the front foot, and we're going to benefit from the fact that other teams can't delay restarts, right? It's just that we've had Villa away, Spurs away, City away, Brighton when we went down to 10 men. So, it's not necessarily been a rule that's worked in our favour. But given the entirety of the season, we will benefit from that. So we should see other teams suffer from red cards, and games when the opposition are trying to slow it down, they're not going to be able to. We'll be able to beat them.
Yeah. And here, George isn't here, but I'm going to touch base on Kai Havertz. Played 90 minutes.
Unbelievable.
Zero completed passes.
And still and I know it sounds strange to say, but still had a wicked game. Like, he is the fittest geese. Like, I'm not talking how sexy he is. I mean, he's a good-looking chavvy, but he athletic. But he is a joke.
But he needs to score.
I think it's like the 90th minute. We had a moment where the ball's got up there, and he's tried to hold it up. He's got all the way up there, and he's ran in about 5 or 6 seconds the length of the pitch to get back. Like, we get back into our shape so well, but he is a ridiculous athlete. He works his nuts off. He is he is the point of the spear of this team, and I couldn't be happier. There's no one out there. He's a very unique profile of player. He's
he needs to score more. No, you don't think he needs to score more?
Just to put in you two lovebirds on this, what I will say, I haven't enjoyed a defensive game like that for years.
I was a neutral. It must have been blinding.
As a neutral, just to see, like, defending is part of football, right? Everybody, I've heard on the radio, people slating Arsenal, blah, 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 and all this, and dark arts. Defending is a part of football. When the Italians do it, we're like, oh, look at Chiellini.
When Mourinho used to do it, everyone loved it.
One of the best football matches I've seen was Inter away at Barcelona, and Inter had to defend. They had a player sent off, dodgy. Like, you get what I mean? But it was a real education watching it and how to defend and how to stand up against it. Blah blah blah. And I thought Arsenal were fantastic at it. I thought like City were out of ideas. Right? They were out of ideas. They couldn't
that's a
find
lie.
guys.
Because
And
Haaland, let me tell you one
hang on.
thing. Let me tell you one thing. Haaland had a great idea. After the goal, straight at the back of Gabriel's head.
Where's his red card? First of all, where's his red card? Where's VAR? That's a clear bloody mistake by them not picking it up. But
I'm sure
I'll tell you,
that more if an
Arsenal,
Arsenal player did it. Because for some, like I say, the pile-on this week has been embarrassing.
but it's like, since when has football defending stopped being part of football? I thought, for me, it was a brilliant game to watch. It was like, okay, come and have a go, right? Sitting back, soaking it up.
It's nice to hear that from a United fan, because everyone.
To me, it looked like you guys weren't worried, like, because you guys were so.
I think they enjoy it. I think a few of those players really enjoy that backs against the wall.
I would have loved it, but then this stat about Havertz, I'm not his biggest fan. I'm not going to defend him the way Pierce does, but this was a different game. This was about closing down. It was about stopping those gaps. The fact that Arsenal were in control defensively was because players like Havertz were closing down spaces. I don't know how much they ran, but to do that for 90 minutes, I thought it was brilliant.
Yeah,
and,
I mean,
I thought it was brilliant.
I'm very proud of the team for that performance. And I think, like I said a minute ago, I think what I was getting to about, if it had been a late winner, City had scored, I think the boys would be pretty disheartened and down, and mood would have been hit. But I think because we still came over point and we defended so long for so well, the team will be encouraged by that. And they'll be thinking, is that what we're up against? Because we've got City's number now. Like I say, with 11 players on the pitch, we were good for it. We were good for our lead. And I think City never come under any adversity at all. Even in individual games, they might go 1-0 down, but by half time they're 3-1 up. Like, we still have to dig in a little bit. We have adversity. We have players sent off. We're scrapping. We're parking the bus. We're having to dig deep. This is the first time it's gone against City in a long time, and they look rattled. They look really rattled, and they're so catty. All their fucking interviews afterwards, like we have got to them. Like when they play Liverpool, it was all like mutual respect, very nice.
It was crap.
I like it. The players don't like each other. There's a bit of needle, and it's good. I like it.
It's so much better. It makes it more entertaining. As a neutral, you get more involved in this because, like, you get sucked into it. You want this type of needle. But Pierce, you're spot on. They're rattled. In the old United Arsenal days, they would be having a go at each other because both of them used to rattle each other. They'd be like doing each other's nutting, right? Wenger, when Wenger first came, how much was Fergie talking about Wenger when, like, go back to Japan and all this stuff, right? He was rattled. Later on, Benitez, with all the decisions and all that, rattled. There's history of people getting rattled, and it just makes it much better. None of this loving, like, it's fine, like, great, everybody's in love, peace, love, harmony. It's not 60s, we're not hippies.
Klopp was just a nice guy, right? That's right.
He wasn't a nice guy. He just knew that Pep was better than him, and he just played it cool. That's all it was. He didn't have the cojones to stand up to him. Arteta's his ex-mate, and Arteta's saying, no, you know what? I'm going to play my way. I'm going to fucking do this. Arteta said, Arsenal basically said, come and beat us. The balls it takes to do that at City. Come on then, have a go.
But I mean, look, we
Man City, a man next
perfect storm of Rodri being injured, being that good defensively. Defence wins you titles, and it does help if your main rival, who are basically perfect, if their best player and most important player is out for the season, it bodes well.
Yeah, pretty much. But it's still quite a few teams in it, right?
It's very early doors. I don't think Forest have lost the game yet. So, I mean, we are
Brighton unbeaten, Forest unbeaten.
Yeah. So still a lot to play for. On that note, thank you very much. Bye-bye.